Okay, welcome back to MCReviews, Monstercat 003 Momentum Episode 9. Today we're going to be reviewing Project 46's third track on Monstercat from their debut Limitless EP, Slide. So I'm going to be honest with you, at the time of writing this and recording this, I just got back from walking home from school in like 30-degree bloody heat with a heavy bag and a lot of hills. So in all honesty, the last thing I want to do right now is review some shitty house track from album 3. So before I run off and go play Borderlands, I'm going to be giving you a brief analysis of this track. Not that there's much to analyze in the first place. So this track kicks off with one of those stupidly long house intros. I guess the song had to find some way to be 7 goddamn minutes long. Very little happens in the first minute and 12 seconds. By the time that most tracks would have either dropped or be nearing a drop, Slide has done nothing but introduce an okay house beat, not great but not terrible, a bunch of white noise, and a pretty damn generic house melody which builds in volume for close to a minute and takes me back to the days of having no music taste and listening to things like Calvin Harris. There is a white noise fade out and everything is stripped from the song. Soon that generic Calvin Harris-y melody starts to build up in clarity, starting muffled and finishing clear. That builds for like 25 seconds with literally nothing else besides that repetitive generic melody until there's a bit of a white noise fade out and the first drop happens. And oh my god, this first drop, if I can even call it a drop, it is such typical early Project 46. It is the exact same melody that we've been hearing getting repeated for over a minute now, just with the generic house kick beat added over it. 10 seconds into the drop, the beat gets a bit more complex by adding a secondary hat focus beat, but it ain't enough for this drop to be anything more than a pathetic excuse for house. The drop ends by going straight into a generic build-up, which yet again is still using the exact same melody. And just for your information, this melody hasn't stopped playing, hasn't changed, and hasn't been accompanied with anything interesting for at least 1 minute and 30 seconds at this point. And then, finally, the song changes at the second drop. The song takes an unexpected turn when all of a sudden it turns into what I believe to be electro house. By pretty much stripping that Calvin Harris-y melody and replacing it with, in all honesty, a very basic and unimpressive, repetitive electro house bass. At this point, I will take what I can get though, and while this bass may not be particularly impressive, it was a sight for sore eyes. But unfortunately, that's pretty much all that this second drop has to offer. It's just that bass on a repetitive loop with a boring kick beat, and the occasional note or two from that Calvin Harris-y melody. The drop goes on repeating these three lackluster elements for around about 34 seconds with no change or variation. After those 34 seconds, a minor melody is layered over the main bass, which kinda mirrors the bass, just with the generic house melody sound instead of the generic electro house bass sound. This second half of the drop is a significant improvement to the first and is the highlight of the track so far, but after about 10 seconds it gets old and it's there for around about 35 seconds. The drop ends with a white noise fade out, like seemingly everything that Project 46 or Eminence ever used to touch did, and pretty much just goes into another generic build-up. It drops, and the third drop is pretty much the exact same as the first, with that repetitive Calvin Harris-y melody and generic beat. Just this time there's a fittingly slidey secondary melody layered over it. This part is okay and is an improvement over the first drop by quite a margin, but like everything ever in early house, it gets old quick and lasts about 3 times longer than it should. The third drop ends just like the first by going straight into a pretty generic build-up. This build-up is the best so far, but it's still nothing spectacular at all. Then there's the fourth drop, which is, I'm pretty sure, literally the exact same as the second drop, and is yet again just at most incredibly average, generic, and repetitive electro house that lasts for a minute and 10 seconds for some reason. The song ends in a similar way to how it began, with a boring segment consisting of predominantly just a beat and occasional basic melodies, and white noise that lasts just far too long. So yeah, that was Slide. I know I didn't go into too much detail here, but it wasn't worth going into detail about, as there really wasn't very much that happened. As for what I liked about the track, there's nothing. My favorite things were the third drop and the fourth build-up, but they are average at best, and the rest is just boring, generic, and repetitive. At first, I liked the electro house because it was unexpected, but after 10 seconds it started to bore me, and after 30 seconds I was thoroughly sick of it. But pretty much everything in this track is in it for way too long. This track could have been a 3-minute long song and removed nothing. They just made everything last so goddamn long. This track has literally nothing worth noting that is good or terribly bad. It's just boring and does nothing that hasn't been done before and hasn't been done better. And for that, it gets a 3 out of 10, bridging on a 2, but I don't hate it, so I wouldn't go that low. God, it's gonna be a while before these guys have a single good song. Well, until then, be looking forward to many 2, 3s, and 4s and future Project 46 songs. And just a fun little note, this might just be the first review where the video is actually shorter than the song's length. So yeah, let me know down below if you agree or disagree with this review, and if you do like this song, please let me know why, because I just have no idea. You can be expecting the podcast up tomorrow. Also, Pete should stop being lazy and upload his review of The Journey on the coming Sunday. Sorry he hasn't been uploading, he's just been really bogged down with homework recently. And then, the coming Monday, my review of Elements of Sanity by Arion will be up. But until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.